prioritize that, if any?
Yeah, it looks like it will be going towards the AD carry position first, though, making sure that you can solidify either the Jinx, the Aphelios have been the big two, but the Zeri being hovered here at the moment for a style. It's interesting to see, though, that the Nautilus is starting to creep up in the ban list now on that red side, especially with the amount of control it gives in the mid lane. Can work out pretty well for someone like Kati, who's been a bit more of that facilitator style.
We'll see if they want to go with a Xayah Rakan. So what do I know? They're going to give Oddie that Viego. So again, something that's good at skirmishing. You know the Xayah's on the other side there. So something that can just kind of keep piling on that pressure when you get those resets.
Yeah, I am surprised to see the Viego kind of going over towards Oddie, though. Oddie, like, he has played a couple of times, but he's definitely been teetering more towards the Sejuanis and the Wukongs and these kind of engage tools to set up for good fights around both bot lane for Xayah, but also trying to get Mireu into that carry position that he can be. But not going to be taking that. He wants to try and be the carry himself. And now we'll have to see if that Gragas, which Mireu has looked incredible on, is going to continue his way through the draft, or whether it be banned away here by GAM in the next rotation.
That's what they want to go for here now, but we have got the Leona. Leona fantastic against the Rakan as well. Just kind of hit him with the Shield of Daybreak. He can't really do much, and he is very squishy at the first few levels of engage. So where do you want to kind of go from here is the next question. R7, they're saying, look, we got the first rotation now. We're probably going to be able to pick up a top laner here, something safe in that top lane, so they're going to focus on those bans into giving Bong something he can lane against.
Yeah, and I mean, Bong has kind of traditionally gone back towards these more tanky-orientated picks, so I think they're just saying, hey, look, we want to try and get our hands on something like the Ksante here for him, and then set him up for a good matchup. And you know that Kiaya wants to try and go towards some of these big carry picks, so just trying to ease that burden there on the top side. And it's actually going to be a swap. It's carries being banned on the R7 side, whereas you're looking at the tanks being taken away by GAM.
See if they want to try and go for more in that top side. Again, both these teams are going to want to try and get their best foot forward in this first game, because it is a best of 3. You still have at minimum 2 games, but you got to try and make something work here, because if you don't get a good start, it could spell disaster for the rest of the series, and then you're done, as we mentioned. So the Gwen taking off the board again, like you said, getting rid of those carries, trying to make sure Bong has something that he can just facilitate himself and his team with.
Yeah, I am very curious about what this mid lane matchup is going to be, because again, I think Mireu has looked best on things like the Gragas. He's most played is Sylas there, just alongside with it. So I think getting some of these melee champions for him are going to work incredibly well, where you can play towards the early skirmishes alongside Oddie and trying to get this Viego and also Mireu rolling. Whereas on the opposite side, I mean, you already have the opportunity to try and play pretty heavily around the spot side with the Rakan setup, so if Kati can try and keep Mireu in check, you should be in a good spot. But there's that Ksante we were talking about for Bong.
Yeah, getting himself something that has good engage, good pressure on the AD carry as well, should the Zeri get caught out, and just kind of taking her out of the fight. We talk about the mid lane matchup as well. Kati has kind of just had so many champions he's built out. He never really had one specific thing that he loved to play. He did have a couple of them there, but as a kind of like just able to play so many different styles depending on what his team need. We are going to see the Jax going up on that top side, so it is going to be the carry into the tank. And finally, GAM going to try and lock in that Lissandra.
Yeah, Lissandra Ahri would be perfect here. You kind of want to try and have that engage tool coming through from the mid lane, or at least something that can set up for a lot of these fights, and then just also having something that can be relatively safe on side lanes, so you have the opportunity to play 1-3-1 and play for sides when it can suit you. But there we go, we're talking about Mireu having an opportunity to go towards one of these melee, heavy skirmish picks. Well, there's the Sylas, and now you've got a pretty devastating mid-jungle support if they're able to play through this.
Yeah, and it's most played in the regular split of the LLA as well, so something that he's very comfortable on. And like, you think of the things it can take away, the Glacial Tomb, the quickness, even, you know, the Cyclone from the Wukong, lots of things he's able to use as be that engage tool to help himself out with that strong jungle duo.
Yeah, and I think that's where we're going to see a lot of pressure towards that mid lane. It's like, if you can lock down this Sylas with the Ice Claw, then you get the follow-up from the Wukong. You basically don't get to play the game here as Mireu, and Mireu has been the carry for this squad. Like, more than 30% of the team's damage coming from the domestic split has come from Mireu. So I'm excited to see if he can have that pop-off performance, because this was one of the guys I was really keeping my eyes on. A lot of early fights, probably going to be the case here as we do load on to Summoner's Rift for Game 1.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Of course, we have got the featured matchup presented by Mercedes-Benz, Levi versus Oddie. So we let the crowd just kind of have their... I want more football chants. That's what I want. Like, who ate all the pies?
I know there's been a concerted effort to try and get Darth chants going as well.
I really want the Dart chants. See if we can get 180 going somewhere in the day. It's kind of hard though. Don't think anyone's going to get 180 kills.
We'll look for the CS, but
yeah.
Already you can see GAM just starting to set up their defensive line here. I think the biggest thing is for Levi, again, you can try and play through this mid lane, try and set up alongside Kati, and then, as Goldberg was saying in the desk, lean that pressure then into side lanes, like up towards Kiaya on this Jax, try and get the Jax rolling. So I think a huge amount of this 4-7 is going to be a case of, cool, can we slow down the pace of that mid lane pressure? Can we try and find some skirmishes with Oddie, Mireu, even if we can bring Lyonz into the mix as well, and just make things very uncomfortable? And Oddie does tend to try and play down towards the side lane, so if they can get Mireu involved as well, it could be a lot of bedlam for Styl and Zin in the bot lane.
And Kiaya just kind of putting himself in the rush here, knows he's going to be stronger in that level 1, go for a bit of an early skirmish with that counter-strike as well. And yeah, going to make it a little bit difficult there for Bong. Shouldn't be too much of an issue for him just to kind of try and walk away from this one. And yeah, we're just going to see a lot of death scraps procs kind of trading between these two top laners until the map opens up that little bit more. So wait to see what they want to kind of go for. And again, more and more kind of pressure being put on these junglers and where we want to see them kind of have an impact.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see that Levi did start on this bot side. I thought he would try and make his way down to the bot lane, but maybe he's trying to make sure that Xayah can get a decent time up here, because Xayah trading pretty aggressively against Bong in these early stages. Level 2 hit for Bong here. Good side step from Xayah. And if you can keep these trades up, you can actually use that push to chat in mid for Kati to immediately roam up towards this top lane, and at least starting that slow push into the top side for Xayah could leave that opportunity open here for GAM.
Oh, see the Xenoblade come in, the dash away there from Styl to make sure he doesn't get hit by the feathers, but all in all, that's the kind of power you can see there. Because again, the Xayah, it's a weird one. Everyone obviously sees the Xayah as this big late game carry, but she can have a huge amount of impact in that early game if you get the right CC. 1 or 2 more auto attacks, and Mireu would have had himself a solo bolo, but not to be just yet. Everyone keeps their summoners.
Yeah, this is actually a little bit of a dire straits though for Kati. Not exactly the trade you wanted to get. And this is what we're talking about. Mireu has been absolutely incredible at getting these solo advantages, even against top LPL teams. So now Levi, we talked about making his way up towards the top side, hovering in the bush. Will Bong step forward for cannon? That's the question.
It's so tempting. You always want to. You don't want to get those -1s. But I don't know if he's going to die just yet. You can see Bong kind of being defensive with this. Has got the knockback as well. A little bit of a dash, but he's still going to get caught out. Just get the knockback, and they're going to catch out Levi underneath the turret, who's forced to flash. Nice defensive move there from Bong, and Levi getting punished for what was effectively a 2v1.
Yeah, tried to use the clone to get away, but Bong actually just about managed to clip him with the W, so brings him back into the tower, then the flip as well. So nicely done by Bong. And that summoner spell being gone on Levi makes a lot of these further ganks a little bit easier to get away from if you're on the side of R7.
See if Oddie wants to go for it. Both teleports used into that mid lane. Oddie kind of moving away through the vision. They're going to try and get the CC down. They wanted to try and catch Kati just before the glacial path, and for the moment R7 are the ones bringing the kind of pressure. They're the ones dictating the pace in this early game and who's getting what.
And it'll be amazing for the LLA to be able to take down GAM, as the Desktop I'm talking about. VCS has been a region that has been kind of feared for the aggression that they brought over the years, has been a little bit tempered as of late, but still a region that can cause a lot of upsets. And LLA being able to show that they can go toe-to-toe with the VCS with such an incredible performance, and already off to a decent start here, as Mireu gonna more than likely look for his own reset here, but maybe not. Oddie, do they go for the diamond line?
They have everyone coming in, flash over, Xenoblade in, seal the daybreak, but Kati gets a good flash. The cat not able to get himself away. Perfectly done there by R7, and Kati goes down for first blood.
And that's exactly what we were talking about for R7. Get this Leona involved, play for these opportunities around the jungle and the mid lane. Would have liked the kill to go towards Mireu, but you're going to be very happy that Lissandra lost a massive wave.
Absolutely. Costed 2 flashes, but a huge amount of golden experience gone to the wayside. And again, it's just instantly from Lyonz. He just goes, yep, I'm going in, and there's nothing you can do to stop me.
Yeah, a little bit separated here. We can see, oh, actually, Bong.
I have a Bong from a flash, but is he baiting in? He is! He had Mireu off to the side, and R7 are starting to punish GAM.
Fantastic roam from Mireu. They thought he'd reset. We even called that he's probably going to go back after picking up the kill, but Mireu sticks around in the lane, manages to get up towards that top side. Now, he will need to get a reset off, but in the bot side.
They're going in again. They are going to get the stun down, and that's going to be a heal in from Zin. Styl now trying to just kite this one back, but again, if the Leona gets the Xenoblade, you're going to be in a hell of a lot of trouble. And R7, they're building some momentum right now.
And the fact that you get this play on a 4-7 on the bot side, forcing the reset from Styl and Zin, means that this Lissandra can't use her advantage in mid. She's already reset. She's got the advantage of the push, but here we go.
Level 6 has been hit, and there's nowhere for you to hide. There's nowhere for you to go, Kati. You've already used the glacial path. You've already used your flash, and it's just a matter of who picks up this kill. It is Mireu 2-0-1, and R7 have come out the gate swinging.
And this is exactly what I wanted to see from the LLA representative. Fantastic stuff. Oddie looking on form, early ganks, early pressure, taking control of that mid and bot side now will lead them in towards the dragon. R7 came to play today.
I mean, they don't want their MSI to end so quickly, and they're going to get themselves a dragon as well. They've got pressure pretty much across the map, and this is a fantastic showing for the moment. Zin thinking about maybe going in, throwing in a Q or something like that, but again, great start there from the LLA.
And I think a lot of this is going probably better than expected for R7 as well, right? Xayah and Lyonz oftentimes are the ones that get a lot of the jungle attention from Oddie, but the fact that they've been able to take control of this bot side by their own opens up Oddie to try and actually play heavily around this mid lane. We even have Lyonz on the roams. This is where R7 are taking a little bit of a different style from what we've seen from them traditionally, and it's looking wonderful right now. And for GAM, they have to try and find ways back into this. Against Golden Guardians, they struggle a lot in those team fights, so maybe they can try and look for picks instead if they can get Kati out of this mid lane.
And that's the thing, you have a load of tools to give you those picks. You've got the Lissandra, you've the Rakan, you can find people out and just kind of CC them until they're dead. But, I mean, it's depending on whether or not R7 will give you those opportunities. As top lane is just going to continue to be that kind of wet noodle fight for the moment until they both kind of stack themselves up. But, I mean, for R7, just a great kind of, decision-making coming in and great cohesiveness from the team to kind of capitalize on a lot of these moments because they're just trying to split-second decisions and they're taking advantage of them.
And it's only going to compound as well as you look towards the Rift Herald in just a few moments. Oddie trying to see if he can make a play on top side for the 30-second wait that he has for that Rift Herald.
Yeah, we're going to see them now go all out. The counter-strike is good, but not good enough. Sidestep from Kiaya. Do they look to try and fully engage on this? The stun is good. There's the Heartbreaker, but Bong does not need it. And R7 are literally winning in every lane.
And this is now dire straits for GAM because you have control for Bong in this top side. You don't have the two ultimates available, so maybe they're a little bit hindered to go for the Rift Herald, but burning the flash on Kiaya here as well is just wonderful. Really nice stuff from Kiaya at the start of this, right? Manages to flash away from the stun, also getting away from the knockback, but just there's too many CCs coming his way and one hits, and that's all that mattered.
Yep, all they needed was a little bit of CC to get that kill confirmed there, and they lose his flash like you mentioned as well, so great from the solo laners and great there from Oddie as well, like running around this map and just kind of being a nuisance and making himself known on this Viego pick.
Yeah, and this is where, again, Oddie, as long as he can keep control of this, he's going to be in a great spot. Looks like they will have to give up the bar. The Rift Herald, even as we said, no ult on the Viego or on the Ksante means they probably give this up. Bong probably just going to ward it to make sure that he can spot exactly what's happening. But I'm curious if they could maybe make a cross map, but with the Xayah resetting, it looks like this is just going to be given. Yeah,
you're not really close to the solar flare. You can see them just kind of pushing in there. Style, just getting that one reset coming in there from Xayah. Do they look for maybe a little bit more on the after? Style would be walking in. They have vision on him, but they don't know that Oddie is there, so he takes that one in. They're going to look to try and burst him down. The cleanse is only going to stop one of them, and R7 just punishing left, right, and center.
Style didn't even have a chance. I mean, I don't even know if he was in the window shopping because you get to move regardless. And now R7 again, 3 kills onto Mireu in this mid lane. This Sylas is going to be so incredibly difficult to deal with as we start to get into the later stage. Plus the fact here, Oddie has just managed to take this entire bot side as well away from Levi. So Levi going to try and work with Kati to move back up into this top side, maybe steal a camp, maybe even look for the dive on Bong. But Mireu has TP to get up there if they overextend.
Oh, Kati got away from the vision, but Bong has a sixth sense about these things and is kind of making sure he does not fall prey to this particular gank. It's a huge wave, so he would love to try and soak that one up, but recognizing he's on the weak side, the police were coming for him and he needed to get the hell out.
Yeah, managed to step away from that one. Mireu gonna look for the reset. Kati will inevitably stop this. Yeah, there you go. So still though, you're looking at dragging in a minute and a half's time. You full push on bot side. I think your best bet here for R7 is starting to try and use Oddie and Mireu's pressure in mid, lean that into the bot side jungle, establish all the vision control that you want there, and just make it incredibly difficult for GAM to try and move in towards this next dragon. Like you can see it already. Everfrost completed here for Mireu. If they can look I mean, look, Kati does need to reset here, so he will be able to go back, but it's more so a case of if Oddie, Mireu, and Lyonz move into that bot side jungle, who in the name of God wants to face check that? Like, no one wants to go near. And you can already see Lyonz and Xayah just trying to see if they can get some of that vision established now so you can start to treat yourself into that jungle.
And this is the thing as well, like for Lyonz and Xayah, Lyonz has been able to roam around the map, have such an impact, and Xayah's not really been under any threat. He's been able to kind of CS up, and yeah, look, he's a couple of CS down, but you take that as the Xayah in this kind of matchup, and now the knockback is good, the tower for the assist, the solo bolo from Bong, and R7 are now 3,000 gold up.
Yeah, I think Kiaya is kind of feeling the pressure here. It feels like he needs to try and make a play, and it goes sideways for him. Bong managing to get him, and now Mireu having a lot of attention in towards this mid lane. I don't know if... Okay, he spots Zin. I don't know if
yeah.
he knows where Levi is.
Wants
Oddie's
it
here.
though. He wants to try and go for this one here, but he did not know there was a rest of the enforcements. Does get the ultimate off, but I think he's just kind of by himself for this. Will flash, but it feels in vain. And that's just an unfortunate timing there from him. Does give over a kill and a little bit of a shutdown as well.
Also gives a lot of pressure, as you say, to the mid lane, but also towards that dragon as well. Looks like GAM are going to group up, see if they can make sure that this will charge. But Oddie still waiting in the wings. I think you just fall back to dragon here. Use the fact Mireu has no TP and get another objective, but GAM sticking around in this mid lane.
They're looking to try and push in this wave before they go for it. They know it's a cannon. Xenoblade will not land for the best, to be honest with you, for Lyonz. He's running the Glacial Augment instead of the Aftershock, so not going to go for it just yet. There's decent vision here for R7. And now GAM will know about it, so they're going to kind of skate their way out of this particular one. And it looks like R7, regardless of the pick, are still going to be able to get themselves the second dragon.
GAM just spent too much time in the mid lane. R7 now will get that second dragon for themselves. But again, it was Mireu just overextending and GAM able to punish. So at least getting some of that gold back in their favor. But you can see they're still a ways away behind here. No Everfrost coming through onto Kati just yet. Although Oddie starting to move back towards mid. They really want to keep this pressure up in the Lissandra.
Really putting her in a kind of a bit of a hole right now, because if Kati doesn't really have the kind of survivability to go for those flanks, because you kind of want to go in, get your CC off, maybe ult yourself or use a stopwatch and then kind of, you know, elongate the fight while everyone else does the damage. If you don't have the health bar for that, you're just not really going to, you're not going to be able to do anything.
And that's the problem, because you gave over a couple of these kills early, Mireu's just able to out-sustain a lot of the damage that GAM are able to put down. You kind of need Zin here to CC him in check, so he's not able to get that Kingslayer off, but it does mean now that you don't have the control for Kati to move. Mireu's actually been the one who's able to get control of sides, and it's now hurt Kiaya, who's 0-3 in that top side. You don't have control for style in the bot lane, and now if you can try and keep this push forward as R7, they can look for the rest of these objectives.
Well, Xayah trying to see if he can catch Zin. He is a Rakan. I think he's pretty damn safe, and I will say, I got to give props over to R7 and kind of dotting their I's and crossing their T's. They're constantly going into their own jungle, seeing if there's a ward there, clearing it out, making sure they're not going to get caught out by any kind of TP flank or anything, you know, kind of vision control that GAM can kind of bring themselves back. And as much as we're praising so much onto R7, we are going to start looking at what can GAM do, what can they kind of bring back into this particular setup, because for the moment, they are kind of coming up short, apart from that pick in mid.
Yeah, I'm going to wait here for a second. Mireu, again, a lot of members around this mid lane trying to see if they can help out Kati. Oddie is here. You really want Lyonz to start moving up, and he will. But you just have to be careful that you're not going to get caught out in rotation.
I know that Levi is there, so Lyonz moves himself back up. Everything kind of gets a bit caught. There's no dragon for the next 3 minutes, so it'll be Rift Tower will be the next real fight.
And this is what I wanted to see from R7 was, hey, look, if you can actually start to get control of this bot side, move Lyonz up, move in with Mireu, and as a 3-man unit, there's very little that GAM can try and contest with. And look, as you were saying, it was great that they were clearing out wards in their own jungle, but you do need to, as now, start to shift that forward. And this just opens up a really nice opportunity here, where you can actually start to, hold on to this point, Zin's caught.
Yes, it is caught, and he's going to be not CC down just yet. They will get the blast going when he pops out. Zin in the air. Mireu is around with the quickness stolen. They might try and jump onto him with the glacial path, but they're turning this one right back around. They're going to try and get their own ultimates on top of this one. Levi will have the Cyclone available to him. Lyonz will not go down just yet. Xayah has joined. Style is here as well. Bong in with the teleport, looking to try and make this one work, but he's being shredded down. Zin looking for another engage. Does not get the knock up. They get the Xenoblade down. They've taken the Style, and he's putting in damage. Style is still working forward as the Jax will pummel down Mireu, and they just get absolutely everything. Xayah tries to save the fight, but it ends up going GAM's way.
It is a very messy fight from R7 with nobody really sure which direction they're supposed to be fighting from. And GAM collapse, they flank, they get the kills they need, and suddenly GAM are back in this game.
Huge shift of momentum. Rift Tower will be picked up here by GAM as well, but great to see them there. And I imagine that those numbers were a little higher about 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, they definitely were. And look, this is a nice pick coming through, but you definitely want Mireu here already. Mireu, though, hadn't already shifted across after pushing in the mid wave. Great blast cone there from Levi to actually open up that distance. And from this point forward, you actually have more members of GAM that are coming into position. And watch Mireu. Mireu starts to move out of this fight thinking, okay, we're kind of done with this, as he waits for the TP from Bong. But Lyonz had already stayed committed into the fight because he was CC'd. So the Leona's now out of it. Then Bong commits, but again, you're not really in position for Xayah and Mireu to follow up. So this entire time, Style is getting a free hit. GAM are getting to kind of rotate members in and out facing their health bars, and they're just slowly but surely whittling down everyone here on R7's side.
It's the power of the Rakan, man. He's so slippery. He gets one moment to get out, and you can see just how much his health bar was so close to going down, but just never does. And now GAM give them hold right back into their favor. Well, it's dead even, basically a couple of hundred in favor of R7. we kind of bring ourselves back into this game with a minute till Dragon.
And it's a big blunder from R7, because I actually liked the idea, which was move in, establish vision control, give away for Mireu to start to lean into bot side, get the tower there, do a very similar story to lean into top lane then as you rotate Xayah and Lyonz around the map, but not able to kind of get that across the line now. Gives a lot of space for GAM to slow down the pace of this game. They can even look to contest this Dragon that's in 40 seconds time with now those mythics coming through across the board and a lot of those kills going to people like Style. So Style is going to get already that Immortal Shield and a Zeal into his back pocket as well.
It got a hell of a lot more scary for the LLA fans here in London. All of a sudden it went from everything was bright and beautiful. Now it's going to get a little bit murky. It's a bit thundery now. You got to be very careful of when those downpours will be coming. It's
got to be so nice though as GAM, like the VCS, because it wasn't looking so great to start things off. Now obviously best of 3, this is another chance if you do go into that game too, but to be able to bring that back, to be able to find that skirmish is definitely going to give you a lot of momentum coming into this. And again, this is an elimination game. Like, you need to pick up every opportunity that you can.
Every small mistake can be a massive opportunity for your opponent, so see what they want to go for. Shirley gets dropped into the mid lane. That's just going to secure that one there with Dragon spawned and ready to be taken. GAM should be able to take that one pretty much as easy as they like. There is a teleport available for Mireu, so not quite going in. And again, we're kind of seeing a similar thing what they did last time. They kind of stayed in mid lane for a lot longer than they maybe should have, and now they're kind of walking backwards without that pressure.
Yeah, and again, you're not really getting that forward vision that you'd really like to. Now, they will be able to move over and start this up, but Kati has the TP. There are a few wards that are in behind enemy lines there that he could look to TP to.
They're going.
Bong also very separated.
They're looking for this one here. They know that Lissandra's going to have the TP in there. Style already using his dash over the wall. As you can see, Bong in a little bit of a 1v1 there with the Jax. So, Dragon down to about half HP. GAM look to try and kind of stop the stacks as it is a Hex Soul. Very, very powerful if you can get that early. Looking for this little bit of a flank. You won't have the glacial path. They will catch out Levi and try and burst him down before he can do everything. You've no jungler. Great capitalization from R7 as the fight can really start now. Style just trying to put in damage, but he's got nothing left. There's nothing there for him to do, and Mireu's going to chase them all away. Sole point for R7.
Mireu manages to get the near chains at the end of that, but not quite able to follow up on it. But really good job from R7. It's actually still going.
Looking for the chains. Just lands down. Not really got the massive amount of burst you would require, but now GAM, you can't defend this. You have to leave. You cannot defend this mid lane tier 1, and R7 are kind of getting everything there. It's going to be the land down there. Everfrost gets turned back, and I don't think Mireu wanted that.
Yeah, kind of hanging yourself with your own chain there. Not exactly what you want to do, but still R7 will take it, right? 3 dragons to their name, mid turret down, bot turret going their direction as well. And again, it's coming down to, hey, look, when the skirmishes are there, that's where GAM were able to find their footing and find that fight against R7 and immediately in their jungle. But when it comes to the full 5v5s, just like Golden Guardians, GAM can't keep up.
I was just about to say, like, we saw something incredibly similar happen to GAM against the Golden Guardians, where it just kind of all falls apart. They're not really quite sure who they're looking to, you know, kind of go for, and those little mistakes, that lack of cohesion can just be the worst of enemies against something like a team that just, you know, kind of feels comfortable in those skirmishes.
And for GAM, now you're starting to run out of options, right? You don't really have the opportunity to look for these picks because you're starting to run out of turret space with everything starting to get pushed in. R7 are very quickly starting to accelerate the pace of the game. Plus the fact that you now have those 2 items complete on Mireu, like this Onya's Hourglass, not really going to be able to pick him. Bong completing his Sunfire Cape makes it very difficult for this quite AD heavy, I will say, team on GAM to get through him. I know you've obviously got mixed damage on the Jax and some damage that will come from Kati, but Bong will still be able to survive a very long time in these fights.
And the thing is as well is that you've got the Viego here for Oddie, so if someone dies, those resets, those extra souls, those extra abilities that kind of rotate through your cooldowns are so unbelievably powerful for someone like R7, because you know who's great as a jungler? Wukong. Viego could just take the decoy. You're not putting in the right amount of damage. They will get the ultimate down there, Mireu, using the stolen Glacial Prison there onto Kati, but knowing that Levi was off into the sides and not going to fully commit.
Yeah, it's a nice opportunity for R7 to try and go for something, see if they can push mid and then threaten, but I think it's just a case of trying to get these side lanes in control is #1 priority for R7. As long as you can get them pushed in, you can start to look at Oddie establishing vision here in the top side jungle, and it looks like GAM trying to set up a pick if you end up overextending here for R7, but they're not actually going to push for it that much. They're going to take it slow, reset, and actually get that vision that they need for the top side.
Yeah, look for the top side, but don't forget, 2.5 minutes away, we got ourselves a Hex Soul. You can see there, Kati has to play so carefully. He did use the Glacial Path, and as soon as he used the Glacial Path, Mireu was like, cool, I'm going to stay in this lane, because I know that if you step too far forward, I can kill you. So it's going to delay his reset just for the little bit now, but again, great from R7 so far, but we'll see now. GAM do have plenty of options available to them if they find the right opportunities.
Yeah, but that's the thing for GAM is like, R7 are the ones that actually have all the cards. They can, yes, go for Dragon, go for Soul, or, hey look, we're just actually going to give that up and we're going to immediately jump onto the top side of the map, try and take your mid, try and take your top tower, maybe even look for a Baron as well and like just trade sides of the map. So this is where you start to come up against a rock and a hard place for GAM, where the opportunities you have to actually look for the more aggressive player, take control, is very tough.
Now, we're just kind of happy to ping-pong the waves for the moment, just give everyone a little bit of gold. You can see Levi and Oddie kind of hovering their top laners. Zin and Lyonz kind of coming in as well, but they don't know that the GAM jungler is here. They do know the Rakan is here, and it looks like everyone's kind of moving themselves up towards this top side, and GAM trying to secure themselves that little bit of extra standing gold just before this potential dragon fight.
Yeah, it's a nice attempt to try and move up here again. The problem is, look at the mid lane. You now need Jax to try and come by, which means that Bong is going to be able to push in the bot side. So, R7, as long as they don't overextend, but Oddie might.
Oh. That sweeper was huge, but they're going to fully commit to him anyway. He's unstoppable in his ultimate, but can he go down? Yes, he will. They've invested a hell of a lot. They will have the TP from Bong. As all 5 members from GAM try to make this one work. You don't really have the support here from R7. A good moment there, but it won't be too long until that dragon. He should just be up.
I mean, I'm more worried about if they wanted to go for a Baron or something here, just to try and even force more of R7 in, but looks like GAM not feeling fully confident to try and go for that, try and bait R7 in, so it will just be the top lane tower instead, the reset coming through, and it looks like we will get this big fight between GAM and R7 at this next objective.
Gold is pretty much even for the moment as well. About 1,000 gold, a little bit less in favor of R7, but again, it's those dragons that are so damn important. We are hitting 2 items on a hell of a lot of people. We actually have the Mireu Nomicon there for Kati, and he's got an exhaust as well with that spell book.
The big problem for R7 is that you only have the 1 TP. Sorry, the big problem for GAM is you have no TPs, R7 have the 1 TP. So as long as Mireu maybe wants to put pressure onto this top side, they can kind of look for a lot of these trades that we're talking about where you go for the tier 2 and top instead, but Wave's not really in a great position. R7 control River at the moment, and GAM trying to slowly but surely work their way through here. No true tank to kind of set this up.
They're waiting. Mireu is now here. Off to the side looking for a flank to even get on top of it. Gets jumped on top of by Kiaya. Everyone just kind of goes a little bit wary of what's going to happen. Dragon's been taken very quickly. There's 50-50. It's going to be a straight up smite fight. Levi gets in and Levi gets the steal. Bong now a little bit too overextended. There's a good solo threat to stop anyone from killing him off. Ring of Frost hits onto 4. How they follow up onto it? Levi finally gets himself the Cyclone off. They pop down the exhaust. There's a good Feather Storm to draw them all back, but Style wants the 1v1. It's a 4v4 in that top side as they try and make this one work. It's all going GAM's way. R7 are not having the advantages and they're falling apart.
It's all gone sideways for R7. They couldn't quite find the fight. Levi gets the steal, and now with position on mid, GAM, they look like they're going to go for Baron.
Looking like the big purple worm, and honestly, I don't think there's really anything you can do here on the side of R7, so one fight just kind of shifts the entire momentum of this game, and GAM, it was looking a bit dicey for them, but they found a great opportunity.
And that's where the VCSs always look good, when they can try and get into those team fights, try and set them up. Didn't work for them against Golden Guardians, but here against R7, we're starting to see that VCS spirit once more. Bong sitting off on the side, there's nothing he can do with Xayah here. That Baron will go to GAM.
Yeah, doesn't have a ward, doesn't really have any opportunity to go in, and GAM breathe some life back into this game for themselves, and have a look at how this fight kind of went down, because again, it kind of goes a bit scrappy, but then it just feels like GAM just realized, hey, we have the advantage.
Yeah, there's a couple of key points where it goes wrong for R7. So Bong uses everything on the clone of the Wukong there to try and get Levi out of the pit, but that goes wrong. Then Bong's overextended, so then you get the follow-up here from Kati. Great job onto hitting Mireu as he's trying to go in. And what's Xayah here? Exhaust as he pulls back the feathers. So that damage doesn't really come through in the same way. So 3 of these big changes in this fight for R7 mean that GAM are able to find their success here and pick off the members of R7 as they go for the overextension again.
2 kills, a Dragon and a Baron. And that means the world to the back-end staff as well. As we come back into live, and now it's what can you do with this Baron as they get themselves back onto the pick. You're going to be able to kind of get that Jax enabled, will be able to kind of push in those side lanes, and there's plenty of standing gold, plenty of tier 2s and tier 1s that they can still pick up.
And that's the thing, once you get Kiaya hitting level 16, which is soon, but here we go.
Oh, it might be a full fight. We've got 4v3, I should say, as they do get themselves a little bit of CC down into Mireu, who does steal away the Lissandra ultimate cyclone going down the backside, which means Oddie cannot get the resets. Mireu going back towards his turret, but he's already dead. Double kill coming in for the Jax, and all of a sudden GAM feel like they've come back to life, and they're just smacking R7 around the map.
GAM are looking very happy in this one, managing to immediately get the Baron, immediately get the play on bot side, and they really want to make sure that they are able to get this win. You can see here the win expectancy powered by AWS. It has been back and forth, but what a turnaround for GAM.
I mean, they still have Baron for another minute 20. They can at least break open the base here at minimum. These death timers are still fairly decent, but I don't think they're going to overextend too much. They got the Hex Gates to get out, and they're going to be very happy with this last passage of play.
Brilliant stuff for GAM, managing to just barely turn this game back in their favor. R7 now kind of scratching their heads saying, hey, look, what the hell can we do to bring this back? Yes, you're getting to 3 items soon for your Xayah, but it's not enough from GAM. They're making plays on the side lanes. Overextension from Mireu trying to hold on to that bot tier 1. Definitely not worth it when you have no control of your jungle, no control over mid. And GAM immediately punish by jumping in onto everyone on R7 who's struggling to keep up. And now Oddie is struggling to get away.
Not got much else to kind of go for as Mireu looks for a little bit of a 1v1, gets hit by the Glacial Tomb, and a lot more damage off the back of that with Style coming in on the Zeri, and this is just bit by bit, momentum by momentum. They still have 30 seconds on the Baron, and without Mireu, there's not really a lot of skirmishing power here, so with a massive wave, they could break open another inhibitor.
R7 are crumbling, and GAM are happy as Larry to try and pick up everything. Starting to move in again onto this top side. Jax for Kiaya, pushing in this mid lane, making sure there's just everywhere is going the way. They're going for it.
They're going to look for the final fight here. They can get the Xayah, they would do everything, but it's a good route down. That's a great solar flare there onto Style, who finally takes down the Leona. The Cyclone in as Levi just kind of helps set everything up on a silver platter. Oddie cannot get the refreshes. He cannot get the restarts on these fights, and Bong is left on its own. So everyone's going to be there for the side of GAM. He just sacrificed the Rakan, but they're not going to end the game just yet. They don't feel like they can go for it.
Yeah, Kiaya bonks Bong, but doesn't manage to actually take him out of the fight, and it means that they will just back away. Dragon in 40 seconds. They're going to try and look to see if they can get another one, but you got to be so careful. Like a steal here for R7, getting that soul could actually be a little bit dangerous. So GAM need to make sure that they're pushing in these waves, getting control over all side lanes before they try and go for this Dragon. Don't give R7 the opportunity to really contest you on the objective.
That's the thing, honestly, I feel like they could have gone for the end there, but obviously feeling that they needed a little bit more time, a little bit more of that gold to be spent. 3 stopwatches now on the side of GAM. You've got one for the Jax, one for the Wukong, and of course one for Lissandra, so plenty of delay available to them in this next fight. 3 items though, as you mentioned earlier, onto Xayah, so he's got himself up to a nice, very powerful point. So again, it's kind of down to the execution of this next fight. I don't feel like R7 are going to leave their base though anytime soon.
At what base?
Yeah.
So little left. You've only got that mid lane structure. Yes, you've got your Nexus towers, but it's not looking too great for them at the moment. And because you've already got Kiaya pushing in that bot side, you've got Mireu has to answer. So Kati stall, they're going to move mid, and it makes it very difficult for R7 to really control this because you have so many opportunities, even if Kiaya wants to come across, to look for the flank. Mid towers is very strong, and R7, they're slowly but surely being pushed all the way back.
Yeah, and Bong just isn't really that tanky at the moment, as weird as it sounds with 3-item Ksante, but if he wants to try and go for something here. They have got decent wave clear, I will say, now that they've got 3 items onto your Xayah. They do get a bit of a stun in, they go in, but there's just too much damage. Style's not here though. Style went way too far away from this fight, and now you've got Kiaya finally joining in. They're going to jump back onto Lissandra, and the Wukong are dead. Style gets caught. R7 found the one opportunity, and they take everything from GAM.
How in the hell did R7 manage that? They just all in onto Style. Style panics, goes way too far over the wall, and without that DPS there, GAM crumble. R7 managed to pick up the fight, and you're 40 seconds out from Baron. They can push in all the waves, get control over the super minions that are pushing in, and look to contest that big objective.
And the thing is as well, is that you're getting all these side lanes in check as well. Your inhibitors are still a ways away, but you've got time now. You've got gold given over to you, and that's so important. That was a 7,000 gold lead. It's still a 4,000 gold lead, but the gold leads don't seem to matter right now, Dagda.
I mean, that's the big one, right? Because when you actually start to look across, like, the items that have been picked up, 4 items there for a Style. You've got nearly 4 across on the opposite side for a Xayah as well, but we'll see here. This was just great coordination between Lyonz and Bong. Immediate all-in at the same time. Yes, Lyonz gets burst, but Style, watch how far he goes over the wall, no more DPS. And even look at Kiaya. He's not able to get into this fight either. It very quickly turns into a 5v3, and R7, they pick off the stragglers and then turn for the rest.
The fact that Lyonz doesn't go down either is so key as well, not giving over any gold. It was a clean fight for the side of R7. 16 kills to 14 in favor of GAM at the moment. Still on soul point for R7, still 3 minutes away, but I mean, like I said, or like you said, they've been able to kind of establish a little bit more defensive vision. They're not going to get caught out by trying to face check for the moment, but Baron is on the board.
Oddie spots them coming in.
Ooh, TP got to be used there, but Bong might be a little bit too far forward. He gets himself a little bit of unstoppable. Goes in, gets the CC down there. And he wants to go for a little bit more. They're kind of half engaging right now, but they may have caught themselves a little bit of a fish. Levi's gone down. They're going to look to Kiaya, who has to go golden style, trying to see if he can do something, but now he's been jumped on by Bong. They will lose themselves another one, but before the Jax goes down, he takes down Xayah. Now Bong looking at 1v3, will stay alive. There's the Zhonya's there from Kati as he looks to try and keep this one going for his team. Style is going to bounce himself over the wall. He's still going. He's still got the damage, and Style is doing just that. He's styling on them. GAM stay alive. A flash away. Finally gets taken down by Bong, but can he survive the rest of this? Because if he goes down, it would be all for naught for R7. Bong needs to get to the defense of his team because the super minions are actually taking the base.
Yeah, he needs to get back. He needs to try and clear this out. Does have a little bit of that regen coming through off the red buff, so should be able to take his way back up. But
there's an inhibitor.
Incredibly close fight. The fact that Style stayed along for so long was crucial, and now all inhibitor turrets are down, and GAM once more win the fight.
Yeah, that was so chaotic right there, and you can see Bong and Kiaya kind of doing the exact same on either side. Kill the AD carry. That was all that was on their mind, but I mean, Style staying alive for so long, nearly get himself a quadra kill, and honestly, if he kills Bong there, game's over. That's it. You have super minions in the base. That's going to be it.
Kiaya, where are you off to? Trying to see if he can get in, gets a little bit of vision. Lyonz knows that there was definitely someone in here recently because of that control ward, but we're going to look into the replay. So this is where it looks so good for us at the start. Bong plays this great, actually getting a ton of pressure down. He manages to set up as well for that separation so they can deal with Levi. But watch now Kiaya. Xayah thinks he's all fine, everyone goes, cool, we can leave Kiaya, but Oddie misses the stun, Kiaya leaps over it, immediately kills Xayah, which means the Style is actually dragged away on the backside from this fight, which just repositions him then perfectly. He's free firing over this wall. The second Oddie tries to go in to get him, again, Oddie's stun missed because Style jumps over the wall, and then there's just not enough follow-up. A great call from Zin there to dive in front of his AD carry to block that, and now we're back to live.
We're back to live. Remember, so much was used in that last fight. You don't have all those stopwatches that you just used on the side of Kati and Kiaya, but you do have one onto Style. Doesn't have summoners though at the moment, so it's a bit risky. I mean, Dagda, with the dragon spawning in 23 seconds, it looks like it's just going to be a trade of dragon for defending the rest of your base for the side of R7.
The recalls coming through for R7. Thormail completed for Bong. I'm pretty sure you got the Mercurial Scimitar complete off that reset as well for Xayah, so a lot of those final alignments starting to be completed here for R7. Now, getting control over mid lane, want to try and get that to lean in towards River, but GAM waiting in the wings.
In there, you got Kiaya there off to the side. He knows that he can catch someone out, but if he gets caught out, he is not the tankiest man in the world. So, R7 not willing to let this one go. There's a double glacial, or excuse me, a double root off of the item, but not really going to lead to anything else. Bong's taking a bit of damage. He needs to regen just a little bit more before I think he feels comfortable going for a full engage.
GAM, control River. R7 starting to push forward. They're trying to burst this out, but I don't know. This is going to turn into a fight.
This is risky. They're going to drag him down to 6,000. They're going to see Oddie over the side. He has vision. He knows exactly what's going on, but now he's a bit separated. So there's going to be Style getting caught out. He's stunned up, so he's not putting out any damage for the moment. He gets his ultimate down as Levi will be going down very shortly. They've gotten Zin off of this. Look at these health bars. They're so low. The Dragons confirmed for R7. They get that extra boost of damage in this fight. GAM have nowhere to go. They're trying to see if they can get anybody dead, but they just can't do it. And it's going to be everybody falling down. The only one left is Style.
These fights are so chaotic, they're so spread out. You can see them splitting off into these multiple skirmishes, but R7 managing to keep Xayah alive. This time, they will go for the end.
This is it, Style. You've got to cleanse in a dream. You got to hope and pray that you're able to kind of keep these guys off it. It's going to take so much. I will say no Mireu, but he's got a TP in 20 seconds, and it looks like R7 want to go for the end.
Starting to push forward, Style.
It's risky, no. I don't think they can do it.
Can he clear the wave? It's going to be so close.
Here we go. They're going to get the cleanse off him, but he gets knocked back immediately. Now they get the stasis out of him as well. They need to CC him out, but Style's still alive. They can't put the damage down. Finally, he goes down. Xayah finally getting himself that kill, and it looks like R7 have done it. R7 will survive the storm that was GAM, and R7 are 1-0 up in this best of 3.
And that is exactly it, Oisin. One storm has been survived, but you have so much more still to go. This is a best of 3, and it is only game 1 that R7 have managed to pick up. This is a battle of all battles, and I'm here for it.
It's so scrappy, and it does feel like it just comes down to execution, those small little millimeters that mean miles in the grand scheme of the game.
It's coming down to, hey, who gets better position in these fights? Who can manage to stay alive? Is it Sales or Styles? Like, so many of these fights are coming down to small plays, but where if you can find that access onto the key carries in the back line, that's going to be the difference maker. We saw Kiaya do it